about you. Bigfoot, hardly think about you. You usually are the last thing on my mind. Till some stupid late night TV show comes on and just makes me laugh.
Hi, everyone.
Hey,
It's Christmas time.
Hey.
Welcome to the Christmas show. Hey,
woo!
we'll probably have some more people showing up. So how's it going for both of you guys? What's up, Leon?
Well, I'm lying. I had an absolutely fantastic day. Everything I say just the total opposite to the max as you can. Fabulous day. Great people. No one's having any problems at all today. Matter of fact, I think all of them received $1 million of checks. They have lots of food and great presents, and the right in-laws are showing up. So it's a great Merry Christmas thus far. So just reverse all that, and that's how I'm really doing, but I want to be upbeat. So,
Gotcha.
And Brent?
Well, not as upbeat as Leon kind of day. I mean, I was stuck like in the Walmart parking lot for like an hour trying to like do last minute shopping. So that's always fun.
We were there this morning, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's quite crazy. But hey, I'm done with shopping now. I'm done. I'm going to enjoy the deep freeze that we have coming our way here in Washington.
yeah.
And probably in Canada. We're going to give a little Canada some love too up there
It's
with our
not
deep
like
freeze.
Canada doesn't need any more problems. Boy, they guys really went through some stuff weather-wise this year.
Hey,
Minus 27 Celsius. I'm not sure. I can't remember what that is for you guys. Must be close to that. Minus 20 or something.
76 degrees. No, I'm kidding. I'm hoping that Mickey can come on and stuff like that. So we'll just hang out for a minute. I watched a not a documentary. It was there's a guy, and now here I am. I can't remember the guy's name, but there's Mr. Curious Cryptid.
Hey, Stevie.
what's up?
The guy in there's a guy in Canada that has
There he is in the galactic center of the universe.
It's Santa. It's really Santa. I knew.
Is that
I knew
that's
he-
Santa, that beacon, that red one up there?
Oh, you're phasing in and out, Jay. The Sasquatch portals is sucking you in, man.
Around.
Oh yeah, I was supposed to say straight like this.
Didn't pay for that good element 115.
I watched the guy today. He's from Canada. His first time I've ever seen. He just has a YouTube thing, and he was talking about that 1969, that little quick controversy over custody of the Bigfoot. There was no Bigfoot, and he kept jacking the price up, and Renee went and Renee DeHanna went and tried to get some funding, and you had all those guys that were together at that time were separately trying to get funding, and every time they were able to come up with some money, that guy would jack it up again. The whole thing was just a joke, and I've forgotten all about that. It's just cool that just out of the blue, this guy, I'm like, oh shoot, stupid me, I didn't think to write down his name. Looks like nobody cares in the chat. So yeah, I put this on like 4 different sites, but you never know. Anymore, most of the sites I get these please join our site thing every day. Here we go. Gary Johnson. I figured he'd show up. It's about time, Gary. And anymore I just I don't know. I've decided I'm just not gonna fight with people over this stuff. I'm going to go on the path that we've all set, for truth and things like that. I don't have time to argue. I don't care anymore about that kind of stuff. I just don't care. I think that if someone's not telling the truth and we know it, then it's important to at least put that out there. But I'm not gonna focus on that. You know what I
I'm
mean?
not running either. I'm taking my sled, my reindeer. I'm driving right through those. I'm here for facts and looking for evidence.
I want to move forward. Even if there's somebody that's in the woo, it's like Brent said the other night. There is, even Pat, there are people in the woo that are looking for the same end as we are. The same, the same goal. And I don't mind working with some of those people. I'm not gonna like work with somebody who's really outlandish. I had a lady the other day tell me to, hey Jay, you gotta hook up with if you ever met Dr. Johnson. I told her no, thank you.
Oh no, really?
Yeah, I was
Yeah.
like,
Yeah, there's like there's like a tier for me on like something that I think would I would mesh well with versus people that I wouldn't. And yeah, Johnson is kind of up there where the Johnsonites as well, where it's like, yeah, you probably don't want to go near there. Just kind of, put a warning sign there, so to speak, and just kind of move on with your day.
Yeah, that's now I could work with a lot of different people. I mean, it's just I don't know. Ever since I've gotten better, I'm not angry anymore. I don't want to go after people, type of stuff. Of course, if I will if I have to, but it's not what I'm looking for anymore.
Yeah, we never really went after anybody like bad or anything, just pointing out what people are doing, and that's about it.
Yeah, and we got a dog here trying to play, and the computer's just going everywhere.
Oh my God. I got a cat here that's like just driving me crazy. It's like, wow, I let you into this room and you just attack everything that you shouldn't.
Yeah.
Hey, my cousin Becky is in.
Hey.
That's my cousin Becky Baker. She's the one that when I wrote this story, I gave it to her as a gift. And she's given me permission to read this tonight. But when I sent her this story, it was in its raw form. I mean, no quotations, nothing. I wrote this in 12 hours, a 12-hour shift on with a pen and some yellow paper while I was loading trucks well over 20 years ago. And she wrote a book. She's an author, a published author, and she wrote a book. And I told her, well, I wrote a story years ago. So she told me, well, let me read it. And I told her, I'll give it to you. I just wrote it and gave it to her. And I had the hard copy, folded up in a drawer for years, and it's gone. So the original hard written, it was just written on front and back of four sheets of paper. It was a short story. And so she cleaned that up and did some editing and really worked with the punctuation and, the proper things that you're supposed to have. And,
yeah, you're not talking to me about that.
And she's my favorite cousin anyway. So that's whenever I talk to her, I always just call her favorite. So that's just always been my favorite. So since we were, young, so and it didn't bother me to give her something. I didn't really feel like the story was worth anything. But after I, not monetarily, I mean, I just thought whatever this was, it made me write this story. I mean, it just came out like that. I just wrote it straight front and back, and then it just ended, and it ended good. And I just didn't know what to do with it or anything. I was at that time I was my own worst critic for a lot of things. And so I sent that to her, and she's had it now for several years and taking the time now and then to work on it. And so she gave me permission tonight to read this. So, we'll get into that. I'll read it and everything. But I'm hoping that a couple of her sisters might be joining us tonight. Not here, but in the chat too. But it's good to see my cousin there. So she, like I said, she's my favorite. And these are all my friends, Becky. These are the people that got me well. So
Run away, Becky. Run away.
Yep. He's paying us very well to be his friend.
Steve, how have you been, buddy?
Oh, very, very busy. It's good to have work in this troubling time. So,
and you're an engineer, right?
yes, I'm an electrical engineer by education and do software professionally.
And I can tell you, this guy is one fun person to camp with. Absolutely, that was a great year this year. I'm looking forward to next year. Working with, we have a new person, that I've brought into our little circle, and that's Tristan Yolton. His mom
Great
told
guy.
me,
Great
his
guy
mom
too.
told me, she says, I'm not willing to come on, but she says that doesn't mean I won't. she's got a lot of information and stuff. She's done a lot of good things in her research and stuff. So I just
Yes.
told her, we'll just-
Steve, he's somebody you want to talk to as well, because he kind of investigates around where your property is. And he has a lot of interesting information, a lot of interesting audio that I think you would really like.
Well, we know we have all the owls and we have all the coyotes.
yes.
Time for some Bigfoots.
Hey, B. Lynn, thank you for showing up tonight. She's one of my favorite people. She always
Yeah,
watches-
she's always there. She's a big supporter.
She's always watching my cooking
Yeah.
videos and stuff. So that's great.
We
And
should do a
tonight
roll
after the
call.
show,
I think
and
we
it's
should.
pouring down rain here. Tonight after the show, I'm going to actually cook some steelhead out on the grill, and we're going to wrap some presents. Good to see Lester Taylor too. Thank you, man. This is great. That Santa dude, man, where the hell is he? Oh, he's there in Canada right now.
Yeah. So somewhere there he is. There he is. Somebody to get a picture before it goes blurry.
Ooh.
Yeah, that's the owls that we keep hearing. People are trying to pass off as good sound.
Good sounds.
Can't
No,
get in the
I'm
road
interested.
together to get the sleigh off the ground, though.
Yeah. I talked to Tristan a little bit about before we had ever brought him on or anything about making sure that you don't say this is Bigfoot, this is Bigfoot, this is Bigfoot. And he's like, no, I never do anyway, and that's what another reason why I really like this kid is he really puts the work into it. Him and his mother both, they're research partners. I think that's awesome.
Yeah, that's an amazing find that you had with Tristan, because I've been talking to him privately and stuff, and great guy, man. It's like, thank you so much. I really value people like him, because you could tell he has a big passion for it. He is on the right path of collecting evidence and his perspective in it. So that was a great find. I mean, and it's all about getting, these people together, and he's local for me too. So, I hope here in the near future with Steve and David to kind of get out there and kind of start working out this Bigfooting thing.
Yeah, I had a good interaction with him just this week on Washington Bigfoot. Someone had posted what turns out to be owls from south of Yelm. It was very, very quiet. I boosted up the audio. It was kind of funny. I boosted up the audio and posted it back into the conversation. And the original poster said, "Wow, that sounds really familiar. Where did you get this?"
Funny you mention that.
That just made my week.
Yeah, I didn't actually see that thread yet, but
Yeah, that was good. Steve really helped us out a lot by posting that there last week. That what he had shown you how you could manipulate those sounds and everything. Like, it doesn't take much to do that either. And you get that a lot on these groups. Oh, I heard this and I heard that, and they've obviously used some technology that's not expensive at all, just to boost the sound to make people go. Because I followed that thread, and it's still today people are going, oh, that's definitely a Sasquatch. Oh, sure, that's a Sasquatch. I'm just thinking, dude, why? And for Leon, I watched another post. Was a guy standing there, and he says, and it's a video. He says, "This is a good trackway, and it's going uphill." And I just said, that is elk, and it's a telltale sign of how the snow's deep enough, how they drag their hoof, and it stepped down like this, and you have people, oh, that's definitely 2 feet. No, it's an ungulate walking up a hill, and I don't know. That's the part where I just go, now, just 6 months ago.
I want it to be Bigfoot. I
Yep.
want it to be Bigfoot.
Yeah.
well, that's why Leon's video is so valuable when he was, showing the trackway of the moose, of what was suspected by Bigfooting's biggest dude to be a Bigfoot trackway. So that's why that piece of information is so valuable. And I hope more people watch it so they get a better understanding of not just assume, but to vet it out for
Just
themselves.
drop the E off the end of that word.
Yeah.
Assume.
Yeah.
Well, in 5 days, it'll be a year when that came out, when the whole thing started.
Well, see,
You should do it. You should do a one year anniversary for it.
surely, because I wanted to put that up. I actually wanted to say, look, this is exactly what happened in Canada there. And you had, I mean, I'm not going to ever steal your thunder, man. You literally went up there and did the field work, which is
Steal my thunder. I don't care. Get the
That's-
information out. That I care.
Yeah,
that's
that's
what's
the important
important
thing.
in this is somebody went and said, well, we're going to investigate this. It's just, however miles away. Paul Graves did the same thing here in Washington State when they were talking about this great line. And it was a deer that was jumping through the snow. And so they'll land with their hooves like this as they're jumping through the thick snow, which makes it look like as they come into it like that, like it's a big print. And all these other people just want to go straight Bigfoot, straight Bigfoot. And that's one of the biggest things that we're, like I said, 6 months ago, I went just straight up foul language, the whole thing. Yeah, I'm just not going to do that anymore.
Yeah, sometimes it's good to just roll on by.
Yeah, it's
Pick
believe
up
what
the
you want,
marbles and
man.
move down the street.
Yeah, I mean, there's some people just not worth engaging with, and you just want to again, plant a sign of a warning, and then just kind of move on.
Yeah, the last year has been kind of like Santa and his sleigh. Whenever you see him come in, he's doing these loops and up and down, and it's been pretty brutal for all of our different channels that we've gone through, even against each other and all that kind of stuff. And there's still lots of misunderstanding that I think will be ironed out as time moves forward. But it's been a hell of a. I mean, the nice thing is at least this year we got 14 channels that are all kind of talking the same way. And
we're about to have another one. I'll be talking to you, Brent.
Great.
Well,
Drink is the best gift of
There's
all.
a guy up there. In your neck, there's a guy up in your neck of the woods, Brent. I've been talking with for a little while. He's a geologist, and he.
Oh, I think he just started following me.
Yeah, well, he wants to
Keeping
get
tabs.
together. He wants to do a chat with me and you together, and he wants to do some stuff at Bumping Lake with us this year. And I just haven't had the time yet to. But I wanted to let you know tonight that we need to. We'll hook up with him. And,
Awesome.
He's a good guy. He's very intelligent. I've had good conversation with him.
I trust your judgment on that. I mean, Tristan's an awesome find, and so same with Grant and stuff. So yeah, I mean, you're getting some really good people.
Merry Christmas, Pat. Thank you very much. I've been busy so much at work and everything, and I just keep telling him, he's like, so do you guys want to get together Saturday? And I was like, that was last week. I was like, well, we're Christmas shopping all day. Then I got to cook for the show and all that stuff. And I'm going to be cooking after this in the dark, but not really in the dark. We have some lights out there, but it's still fun though. Pouring down rain up here. But yeah, this is another good find. And this guy came to me. It's weird as Tristan just shows up in our camp. All right. Now, normally,
Yeah, no kidding.
normally I don't like that kind of stuff. I'm like, get the hell, what are you doing? But I knew this kid was good from the second he just had that cute little, that little smirk of his, that smile. He's got a great sense of humor. He's a good guy. And, and his dad, man, his dad is just a wonderful guy. It's just good to meet these kind of people.
Oh, yeah. I can see Tristan doing a lot of good things in the subject. He's got a good head on his shoulders. He's got a good approach, and it's just being at the right place at the right time.
Yeah.
Yep. I totally agree. But I'm still like, I don't know, up here where we live, I don't like people coming to our camp because we're too close to, even though we're 50 miles from Vancouver, that's too close. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
It's a whole different story at Bumping Lake. That's a 3-hour drive for us?
For where? Bumping Lake?
Yeah.
4 hours.
4-hour drive for us. So that's closer to you. And Steve probably. Steve, how far
I think we're about 3-4 hours.
from Bumping Lake? Still.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Yep, because you got to go down
We
through
just go on
Greenwater
the top of Rainier instead of the bottom.
Oh, it's Dave. It's Dave Green. Dave Green is the guy that we need to hook up with. Thank you, Dave. Geez,
That's
sorry
me.
I didn't see you. Thank you for showing up tonight, buddy.
Yeah.
Yeah. We'll get together, definitely.
Yeah, I definitely want to have that chat. And like I said, I'm really looking for good, people to kind of work with and that have that passion, that want to kind of get out there and really kind of figure it out. And I really want to set up some expeditions and stuff like Bumping Lake, and for us all to, we all can go to and get some stuff hammered out and planned out. Because I think that's one of the big disadvantages that we all have is not having a structure in place for us to plan out. I think you got to treat it like a research project, like a business plan almost. You got to structure it out as much as possible in order to kind of do the things that you want to do, because it's really hard to just go by the seat of your pants.
Yeah, I think Bumpin' Lake is going to be a great place, but I think it's going to be really difficult because it is so popular. There are so many people there anyway.
Mm-hmm.
Well, like I said, every stump, every rocks are piled. There's somebody's got a gift for Bigfoot, and it's litter, man. It's trash is what it is. They're not. When you pull into a place there, man, every stump's got something on it.
I got an idea. If we create the narrative that Bigfoot really likes gold, right? That maybe people will start leaving gold, and we'll be like, we'll go grab the gold and replace it with, I don't know, a rock, and then there you go. It's a win-win for everybody.
Cell phones.
And they're curious. They're very curious about $100 bills.
Yes, they love them. They love that picture on there, guys. Leave them all.
Yeah.
I think we're working on something, guys.
Hey, wait a minute, Steve. You could pass as a $50 bill.
Mm-hmm.
We could do
Franklin.
Hey.
Yeah, we could take some pictures.
God, I'm getting my president mixed up. That's Jackson?
On the 50?
I'm Canadian. I have no idea.
Yeah.
I seem to remember having a preference for Franklin.
Yeah. But yeah, that's we're gonna go up to Merrill Lake this year. That's 4 miles up, and we're going to. There's been so much activity there also throughout the years. I mean, when the first activity we had further up, first thing we found was Merrill Lake 2012. And I guess Dr. Meldrum even had a little bit to do with that too. But we're going to, it's tent camping only. I'll spend $20 to stay the night, and, or the weekend, 20, whatever it is per night. It's tent camping. Plus we have pontoons. Brent gave me a pontoon. I didn't. Get on with the seat. So we're going to, do some crawdadding and some fishing, and we want to row to the other side of the lake and check out some of those areas on the other side of the lake.
It'd be really cool to get like a water drone, like a little boat, hook it up, go out there with some thermal camera on a boom arm and just kind of go around and scope out the lake edge.
Yeah, I've been fascinated for years with all the reservoirs up here and everything. Everybody sticks to one side or through the middle and stuff. I would like to go into some of these areas where you get the little coves and stuff where nobody's really going into. Just do some looking around and those types of things. Great Santa hat from B. Lynn to Leon.
Thank you. I'm sorry I had to cut off there, but my cat left me a little package underneath the coffee table.
Oh,
I
nice.
would show you it, but I don't think you appreciate it.
Half a tail.
Probably hairballs. You don't know, is that a part of a mouse or is that a hairball? Because they kind of look the same when they're going. So
we'll never understand why cats do that either. That's the thing.
They do it to knock everything off the counter, like I'm expecting them to do with all this. I just knocked that over.
Driving me crazy.
It's only crystal, no big deal.
German Shepherds are so needy. Jeez.
What is it that you want?
She's just causing all kinds of trouble over there.
I want the cats. I can smell the cats through the screen.
Yeah.
I know my cat is like reaching his hand underneath the door. He's like, let me in. But he won't stop messing with everything. He's like crazy right now. He's going through the teenage years, I think. And earlier today, he was like, I was in the kitchen making breakfast and I heard this god awful gozer type sound. And it it came from the cat just trying to play, and it's like, oh my God, are you possessed? I mean, geez.
Yeah.
It's like
So,
Ready for
hey,
Christmas.
Brian and Chewy.
crazy time.
Good to see Brian and Chewy here. Hey, look, so on a seriouser note, Kathy Strain lost her mom just a few days ago. So, if we can all send out some positive thoughts to Kathy and Bob.
Absolutely.
It's hard to lose somebody. Just lost an aunt here not too long ago too, and but we did. But that's it's been a little bit of a while. But to lose your mother during the holidays is tough. So our hearts go out to Kathy Strain, and she's going to go ahead and cancel. We're not going to have a show next Thursday. We're just going to take a break for that week. That Kathy was supposed to come on and all that. So we'll take a break. And she said, definitely she'll come back. But that night is her mother's funeral, and there's, and she's like, "Is that going to be okay?" And I'm like, "God, are you kidding me? Of course it's going to be okay." Jeez. Kathy's one of the sweetest people you'll ever meet. Her husband Bob is a real nice guy too. So
I've seen some interviews with her. Her and Bob seem like really good people, and
they love each other for sure.
Yeah,
after all these years.
It's something, to research together and to be married together. That would probably be interesting.
Yeah, that's it's hard. Her and I do that. We had a guy a couple of years ago, actually it was probably 4 years ago. We were supposed to go up to our spot. The guy was in a local group here in Washington State, and so we set it all up for like that Saturday, and so he said he sent me a message. He's all how excited he was, and I said, "Oh yeah, my wife's excited too. We'll head up there." And he says, "Why the F is your wife going?" I was like, "What?" And he goes, "Why the F is your wife going?" And I was like, "Well, she's my research partner." He's like, "Well, I wouldn't take my, and I was just like, well, so I just told him, well, you and I are not going to be working together. So no, that's it. I mean, I was just stunned. I mean,
that's a good red flag to kind of, just pay attention to and just kind of move on from the person. Cause it doesn't sound like a good guy.
Yeah. And I don't even have a clue. Even last year, I was supposed to have somebody come on when I was working with the lady, and he is from Oregon, and he sent me a message saying we had him scheduled for that Saturday on the cafe, and he messaged me and said that he saw my Facebook profile. I'm a racist and a bigot and all kinds. I was like, my family's so diverse you would never. But yeah, he just straight up, that was it. And I couldn't talk to him or nothing. I was like, well, yeah, that's okay with me, man. I mean, you live and you learn. I'm sticking with I'm trying to get a lot of the people that are not known in Washington State and Oregon for our show. We all know who Brockman and all those other people are. Why I don't need to have them on my show. As far as that kind of stuff, I want like Tristan is fresh. People really like him, and his Kaiju Ninja YouTube he's got several followers he's just a fun guy. He likes dinosaurs and things like that. So, we look forward to fresh new people that nobody, really knows about that's making the circuit on the podcasts and stuff.
I hope he's making one of those gingerbread houses where it shows a Tyrannosaurus Rex, smash through it as it's that in the middle of his table.
I'm gonna have to bring out some different elements of our display case if he's around, because we've got a T-Rex claw in one of our display cases.
Really?
It's kind of fun to watch the cat curl up under it and rub its chin on the nail.
So helpful, aren't they?
Yeah, cat, you have no idea.
Is it a real one, Steve?
It's a cast of a real one.
Wow,
That's cool.
wow. Hey, Jimbo, grasshopper. Yeah, I'm fascinated with fossils. That's another thing I want to do. When we go up to places where there's granite that's in shelves like this, I want to check those out because the fossils get trapped inside those layers, and so that I've always been. Yes, forgive me. I've been sick all week, and of course I wanted to read this and everything, so I'm trying to.
Well,
But anyway,
did you notice the pendant my wife was wearing when we were down at your camp, Jay?
Yeah.
Because that had a velociraptor claw on it.
Wow, that's awesome. I've always been fascinated with that kind of stuff.
It's a 3-year pass, is what it is, to Jurassic Park 5. It's
Yeah.
only people selected, but you have that, you get in for a good year. You might not get out, but you get in.
I was really wishing I had a dash cam in the Jeep. Kim was driving us down to the area we observe. We have to go through Puyallup. And there was a Jeep in the next lane that was painted out and decked out with all the Jurassic Park decals and everything.
Jeez. I'm going to go ahead and read this story.
Oh, hey, man.
What?
I'm sorry. I saw that Jeep before. It looks just like the Jurassic Park one. Yeah, me and my girlfriend saw it. I was like, wow, look at that. She didn't see it. But yeah, that's cool. Small world.
All right, guys, here we go.
Here we go.
What are you doing?
I'm going to read this story before I lose my voice.
Okay.
It's called A Little Christmas Tree. It's by Jason Birch. That's my name is Jason. Just online, I go by Jay. And Rebecca Baker.
You've been lying all this time.
Yeah,
No Santa Sasquatch for you.
This is an original Christmas story. This will be the first time it's been read other than outside of family. So hope you guys enjoy, everyone. One day in late December, just after he finished a lunch of soup and bread, Joseph put on his coat, hat, and scarf and left his home to search once again for work. He was a hard worker, but jobs were scarce in his small town. He had fallen on hard times. Joseph's pockets were empty. His wife and children were hungry. Dismayed, Joseph walked for a few miles through lightly falling snow, wondering where he might find a job. Lost in his worries, he raised his head and found himself standing at the entry of S. Kloss Christmas Tree Farms. A few miles up the road, maybe they need some help, he thought. Christmas was just 2 days away. He found the foreman of the farm and asked for a job. Unfortunately, the foreman told him they already had as many farmhands as they could pay. Joseph looked around at all the Christmas trees and imagined his children's smiles as they celebrated Christmas morning around their own tree. Suddenly, he spotted a small, thin tree with drooping boughs. It looked as sad and desperate as Joseph felt, but Joseph sensed a determination in the tree. It was trying to hang on and become someone's special Christmas tree. And Joseph was trying to find a job so he could take care of his family. He felt inspired for the first time in a long time. A wonderful idea had just come to mind. Joseph asked the foreman, "Do you think I could work for a Christmas tree for my wife and children?" The foreman followed Joseph's gaze to the small, sickly-looking tree. He scratched his head and asked, "That little thing?" He pointed at the tree to be sure. "Yes, that's the one," Joseph said. The foreman smiled, thinking that Joseph was being rather foolish, but he was willing to make the deal. The foreman figured that the small, sickly-looking tree would never sail anyway. "Sure," he told Joseph. "Come right this way." The foreman took Joseph to the tool shed. "I'll need you to help chop down trees for our customers and then bind them with twine. If you can make it through the day, you can take that little tree home with you," the foreman said. "Of course, if someone wants the tree, you'll have to pick another one when the day is done." "Thank you, sir," Joseph told the foreman. I truly appreciate this opportunity. The foreman nodded at Joseph. He saw a family coming through the farm gates and told Joseph, "Looks like you got your first customer." The foreman left Joseph to go and greet them. Joseph waved at them when they looked his way. He then turned to find the axe and the tool shed. Joseph worked all afternoon. He chopped and chopped and chopped. He wrapped the twine and tree. Joseph even loaded the trees for the families to take home. The farm sold several trees that day. The day passed quickly, and soon it was early evening. After the last family left with their tree, the foreman approached Joseph. "Well," the foreman said, "you are really a hard worker, Joseph. The tree you asked about didn't sell today, so I suppose you can have it, as we agreed. But," he continued, "I'm willing to let you take any tree that you like. You earned it." "That's the tree I'd like," Joseph answered. The foreman scratched his head, and as he'd done earlier in the day, "If that's truly the one you want, it's yours. But," he said, reaching into his pocket, "if that's the one you're taking, then you've got this coming to per the boss." He handed Joseph a $20 bill. "I'd like to know one thing, though," the foreman said. "Yes?" Joseph asked. "Why would you want the ugly little tree when you could have the pick of any tree here?" Joseph explained by telling the foreman, "We are a very poor family. We don't have a lot, but we've learned that we don't need a lot. Any tree will bring joy to my two daughters. They will love this one. There's something special about it. There is one thing I'd like," Joseph said. "What's that?" the foreman asked, feeling relieved to be getting rid of the scrawny tree. The normal process was to cut and burn ugly or sick trees. This would save him some time and extra work. "Could I dig up the tree instead of cutting it down?" Joseph asked. "Go ahead," the foreman agreed and laughed. "It's your tree." Joseph put the axe away in the tool shed and picked up a large shovel. He carried it over to the tree and began to dig. The foreman found a burlap sack and brought it to Joseph. Together they wrapped the burlap around the roots. Joseph thanked the foreman again and walked through the farm gates whistling a Christmas carol. The foreman closed the gates behind Joseph and headed up the office attached to the farmhouse to check in with the boss, Mr. Claus. Before he headed home himself, the foreman had an idea or two that he wanted to discuss. Special souls deserve special blessings. He knew Mr. Claus felt the same way. As Joseph walked home, he wrapped his coat around the little tree to keep it warm. He felt that the tree was more than just a tree. It had given him hope, and it seemed more like a friend to him. It may be a little surprising, but the little tree felt the same way. It also found comfort in the tune that Joseph was whistling. There was a market on Joseph's route home. He was happy to see that it was still open as he approached it. He set the tree down gently outside the door and went inside, purchased colored paper and warm socks for his daughters. Socks were the only thing they had requested for Christmas presents. He was also able to use part of the money the foreman had given him to buy something special for Christmas dinner. When he walked through the door of the family's small home, his two daughters, Lizzie and Judy, shouted with glee. They were so happy when they saw the little tree, they loved it immediately. "Oh, Mama," they exclaimed, "isn't it perfect? The Christmas tree that's just our size." Joseph's wife, Marianne, went to get her wash tub from the back porch. Joseph gently placed the little tree in the tub. He then went outside to gather some soil to add to the tub. Lizzie and Judy danced around the tree, singing Christmas songs and giggling in joy as they waited for their father to come back inside. The little tree was delighted with the sounds surrounding it. The girls' voices were like hugs to the little tree. Joseph returned and added the soil to the tub. He then reached into the bag from the market and gave the girls the paper he had purchased. They took the paper and danced their way to the table to begin making decorations for their little tree. Mama prepared supper while the girls made their ornaments and cut the paper into snowflakes. When supper was finished, Mama made sweet, warm tea for her daughters. They drank half of the tea in their cups and poured the rest into the tub for the little tree. It was a treat the tree enjoyed very much. The girls gathered the decoration they had made for the tree and decorated it while Papa sipped his own tea and watched them. He was delighted to see them so happy. As soon as the decorating was finished, the girls rushed to hug their Papa and thank him for bringing them the tree. Papa hugged them back, then stared and shared the rest of the sweet tea with the tree. It's growing late, Mama told the girls. It's time to climb into bed. Papa, Lizzie said, will you tuck us in tonight and listen to our prayers? Of course I will, Joseph replied. Now scoot along and get into your pajamas. After the girls had left the room, Joseph sat beside his wife and took her hand in his. I'm so sorry that I can't give you, Lizzie and Judy, more this year for Christmas. Oh, Joseph, Mariana replied as she gently touched his cheek. What more could I ask for than the health and happiness of our little family? You've made the girls so happy today with the little tree, and the tree already seems to be perking up. She nodded toward it. It's standing taller and its branches seem fuller. Perhaps it's the decorations, but whatever the reason, it looks beautiful. Thank you for doing this for us. She turned her eyes back to Joseph. Now go hear their prayers and tuck them in while I clean the kitchen. She smiled as she stood, then kissed him gently on the cheek. Upon waking the next morning, the little girls rushed from their beds to check the little tree. A few of the paper ornaments had fallen to the floor. They stared for a few minutes, both wondering why the tree seemed bigger. It appeared to stand taller and seemed to have more little branches. Lizzie and Judy smiled at each other. This tree was a magic tree, and they were going to take good care of it. Lizzie gave it some water for breakfast, then enjoyed her own breakfast as she sat beside the tree. Judy joined her. Together, they made plans to make more decorations using any scraps of paper they could find. Mama gave them a red shirt of Papa's that had headed for the rag drawer. She helped them cut it into strips and showed them how to tie the strips into pretty bows. The three spent their morning doting on the little Christmas tree, singing their favorite Christmas carols while they tied their bows around the branches. Papa had spent the morning chopping wood for the family fire. As after he had stacked the logs, he went into the house for some lunch. Immediately he noticed the little tree. Perhaps it was the new decorations and added red boughs, but he could have sworn the tree was a bit bigger than it had been when he bought it home the day before. You ladies have done a wonderful job on your Christmas tree, he laughed. I think it's the merriest tree I've ever seen. The rest of the afternoon and early evening was spent around a warm, cozy fire. Papa told the girls about his own Christmas memories as a boy. Mama smiled as she listened while she mended a hole in Papa's shirts. The girls and Mama prepared stew for supper while Papa went out to gather more wood for fire so the family could stay warm while they slept. After dinner, the girls snugged with Mama while Papa recited the poem, "'Twas the Night Before Christmas." Judy asked worriedly if Santa would try to come down the chimney while the fire was burning. Joseph assured her with a smile that Christmas magic would keep Santa from any harm. In his heart, though, Joseph felt sorrow that he couldn't play Santa for his girls. Lizzie yawned. Judy followed with a yawn of her own. Time for bed, my sweet girls, Mama said. kisses for Papa, a bit of water for our tree, then your prayers. They kissed their Papa. They watered the little Christmas tree and whispered a special Christmas blessing on it. Then off they went to say their prayers and hop into bed, excited to see what Christmas morning would bring. Mama prepped the strips of meat that Joseph had brought home the evening before. They would have a lovely Christmas dinner with this meat, some potatoes, and a pie from the pumpkin she had canned from the fall garden. Marianne wrapped the presents for the girls and set them up under the tree. Yes, they were just socks, but they were warm socks that her daughters needed. She also placed a booklet of pressed flowers on the tree, one for each daughter, something she herself had worked on from spring through fall. She was feeling quite blessed herself when she headed to bed. Joseph lingered a while, tending the fire and wishing he could have done more for his family. He looked at the little Christmas tree and spoke softly. Thank you for bringing some Christmas cheer into our home. Your branches are full and green, and the little ones did such a beautiful job with their decorations. I'm glad I found you. I can only hope that you might truly bring some magic to our holiday. Joseph straightened a red bow and smiled a sad smile, knowing it was, after all, just a tree. Good night, little Christmas tree, he said as he headed to bed. That night, Joseph dreamed of snow and reindeer and trees covered in winter white blankets being decorated with many birds of red, blue, and green. He also dreamed that the wind gusted, muffling any other sounds that might hold. He thought he was still dreaming when he heard the jingling of bells. As the sound faded, he opened his eyes and sat up in bed. The sound was shining diamonds on fresh fallen snow. It was a bright, beautiful Christmas morning. Marianne felt Joseph stir beside her. She opened her eyes and was surprised the glow coming in through the window. Joseph smiled and said, "Good morning, my love. Shall we wake the girls?" Marianne and Joseph went into the living room and found their daughters quietly sitting in awe of the Christmas tree that was no longer as little as it had been. Along with the paper decorations and red rag bows, there were red, blue, green decorations on it, sparkling as though they were covered in frosty snow. And on the top of the tree was a beautiful angel. Mama and Papa stood silently, wondering how the other had pulled the Christmas tree miracle. The silence was interrupted by a knock on the door. Joseph opened the door, and the foreman from the Christmas tree farm stood on his doorstep. "Merry Christmas, Joseph," the foreman said. "I wanted to let you know that I spoke with the owner of the tree farm, Mr. Claus, and told him what a great worker you were. And you know, ours is a year-round business. We have planting, caretaking, and trimming to do throughout the year to offer our community the best Christmas trees ever. He happened to have an opening starting tomorrow, and I'd like to offer you a job." Joseph was thrilled. His family, his Christmas wish had come true. He would have a great job and would be able to be the provider he longed to be. He accepted the job immediately and turned to share the wonderful news with Marianne, when he was interrupted by the foreman. "Oh, by the way," the foreman said, "I found this package on your porch. You might not have noticed it in the bright, crisp morning light." He handed a large linen bag to Joseph. "Merry Christmas to you and your family, Joseph," he said with a smile. Noticing the tree, he then stepped away from the door and headed home. Joseph shut the door, grinning broadly, and set the package down by the tree. Reaching inside, he pulled out packages of candy, nuts, and fruits, a loaf of bread, and a smoked ham, as well as a doll for each of the girls. New coats, dresses, and shoes. For Marianne, there was a lace shawl, warm gloves, and a book about gardening she had wished for. And for Joseph, the package contained leather work gloves, new work boots, and a scarf. and a cap, a warm cap. The family spent Christmas Day singing and laughing and enjoying the day and each other. When evening came, their bellies were full and their spirits were joyous. Mama made them all warm, sweet tea that they sipped as they all talked about what a magical Christmas they'd been able to enjoy. And they all knew without having to say it, that it was the little Christmas tree that had brought the magic. What they didn't know was that the little tree felt the family's love and care was that brought about the Christmas magic. When bedtime came, the girls shared their remaining tea with the tree. They asked Papa if they could plant the tree in the yard in the morning. Papa agreed that they needed this tree as much as it needed them, and plant it they did, right outside the children's bedroom window. As the Christmases came and went, the tree watched the girls grow and the family prosper. They always took very good care of him, and every year they would decorate him for the winter holidays. The girls grew taller, as did the tree, and one day when his branches had grown quite high, the girls left home. They were sad to leave their tree, and he could feel the sadness too. His tears fell in the form of sticky, clear pine sap that trickled down his trunk. The girls shared one more cup of warm, sweet tea with the tree, and they were off to their own adventures, asking Mama and Papa to take care of the tree for them. It was a promise that was easy to keep. Some years went by. The girls returned to their home. The tree was to their home and the tree with husbands and children of their own. The tree thought that the children looked similar to the girls he had once known. They weren't the same children, but they were similar. Their mothers brought them to the grand tree and told the story about how important the tree was to them and how much they loved him. The little ones giggled and ran their fingers around the bark of the tree. Their grandma, Mary Ann, would bring out warm, sweet tea for them and their mothers and show them the long tradition of drinking only half and sharing the rest with the tree. This made the tree very happy. He found he loved these children too. As several more years went by, the tree saw children come and go. They always resembled the first little girls. Sometimes they were even different colors, but they always resembled the first children who loved him. The tree loved the way he felt when birds would land on his branches and sing, and he loved the squirrels that scrambled and played on him too. Throughout time, he saw youngsters stealing kisses while hiding behind him. A swing hung from one of his branches, and children played on the swing for years. He loved this kind family and sweet tea he received from them every Christmas. He had become a grand tree, so tall that the children would come and decorate him with only his trunk. He loved even this and promised that he could always be there for the family and the children that would come in future years. The grand old tree, the once little Christmas tree, still lives there today, looking forward to each Christmas and loving the kids' family that cared for him when he was just a little worse. They helped him learn how to make Christmas magic. They gave him the chance to survive and prosper. Their love was the most special magic gift I've ever received. The end. Sorry
Wow.
about the throat thing there.
No, that was really good. That would make an amazing book. You know, a little
Yeah.
a book. You know, especially for children and stuff. I mean, that's a really good story. Very creative too, with how the tree is incorporated and grows with the kids. You know, that was a nice touch there.
Well, that story came to me, and like I said, I wrote it in 12 hours. I wrote it, and I gave that to my cousin Becky, and she's the owner of it now, and she's thinking about some illustrations and things like that. It's just, of course, my throat being the way it is right now, it was hard for me to do that. But I actually wanted her to come on and read it. But
Oh, you're just getting emotional. It's okay to get emotional, man.
well, that story means the whole world to me. That
100% it does, yeah.
that
The
flows.
illustration part, my brain kept going back into, because I have a couple of friends who write books and for kids, and they do their own illustrations, and I kept thinking about them and what they would draw, and they'd be the very simplistic, most direct points of each of that part of that story. Them hanging around, them seeing the tree, them looking at what that tree would look like. We all go back to like Charlie Brown kind of tree, but it still touches that kind of subconscious part of the innocent, the humble, the vulnerable, and you rescue to be
in
taken.
my mind, when I wrote it, I could see either turn of the century, like 1899 to. That's what I was seeing somewhere in that.
Early 1900s.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it was just where people were he would be able to do something with $20, type of thing. And just all I could see in my head was I could see a nice, like a cabinish type of home with these girls. And those now she gave the girls the names. My cousin did. That's my sisters, Judy and Elizabeth. So and then I think Marianne is her sister. Her little sister Marianne. I think. I don't know. I know who the two girls are though. That's my sisters. I should have invited my sister for this tonight too.
She can watch anytime she wants now.
Yeah.
It's on here for eternity.
Yeah,
as long as there's a Santa, it will be on the internet.
Yeah, I can't tell you. I've been sick all week, and I was thinking, no way. I've been telling everybody I'm going to read this story. I mean, I couldn't even talk yesterday, dude. I was really struggling. I was really struggling. Then my eyes are not very good, and these are just. So I'm like, I'm trying to read this and trying to get it, but it worked out good. And
No, it's great. You did great with it.
That was excellent.
I was trying to think of how I could hack the ultimate. It's like on TV they have the Fire Pit channel. Over Christmas, just plays fire. That's like a campfire. And I'm trying to think, can I hack this onto here? Because it'd be like us around the campfire, and we could just reflect on the flames as we read the story.
We talked about, like I said, I got sick, but we talked about filming like the fire, and then reading it, and then putting it on like that, or I would read it.
You should have said something, Jay. I could give you about an hour of that propane fire pit that we set up.
That thing isn't that thing cool though, man?
Yeah, from your last video that you did.
Then I thought about doing it as a storyteller that was a part, that's like a third or fourth generation of the family, old man talking about the story and the tree that's been in the family. And it just, like I said, it just, there's so many things you can do with that though.
Well, like for instance, you get your granddaughter on your lap like this and read her the story.
If I had a granddaughter, I would do it.
With illustrations. That's what that story's all about.
Yep.
Grandpa sitting up next to the fire, granddaughter, grandson on his lap, and
I even think it would make a good short movie. When I see, I lost that hard copy. I mean, the literal sloppy ass written straight with nothing. Just I don't know how she was able to do that with what I sent her. I mean, she's a smart girl, but I'll tell you what, because
it was good. It was good.
It was for her to have to slow it down, and like you had to do with me when you first met me, Leon. She had to do that with just writing. All right, it was erratic as hell, man.
Slow down, just slow it down. Yeah. So what are you guys thankful for this last year? Because if you're not going to have a New Year's show, we should maybe reflect a bit on the last year and what are you kind of thankful for?
The growth, as far as where we're at with this, what we're doing now with getting well, things like that. I'm happy with my job. I feel like I'm getting healthier from being so sick there early last year or late last year. So I'm grateful for that. Patience, things that now I'm 60 years old and these stupid things I should have had forever are finally coming to me. I'm not afraid of telling the story anymore because I know how to tell it now. I know exactly, what I have to do in my mind to be able to tell the story without suffering anymore, type of thing. So, I'm really grateful for that. Yeah, even though it's weird when I told Cornell, I was okay. I couldn't sleep that night, but it was weird. But this week I've had insomnia real bad, but when I told Alexander, I was fine. And I feel fine. I don't feel, you guys taught me exactly what to do, but I'm grateful for the new people that I've met, like Tristan, people like that. I kept him a secret because I wanted to make sure I got him involved with the right people. Because he's influential too. He's very young. And I wanted him to be in the right hands. I'm grateful for him. I'm grateful for some new friends I've met at work, that some good young people too, that are interested in what we're doing and want to get involved. New friends that just through doing this type of stuff. I love the cooking's getting better and better and better. I'm a little disappointed right now with I don't know how I'm going to be able to cook beef for very much longer. It's so unbelievably completely, I can't afford it. It's just it's unbelievable how much if you want to eat some beef, we have more cows on the planet than we do anything.
We can go cow hunting. They're really easy target. They just stand there, and they just stand in the middle there. We can go get it.
Yeah, it's free range cows too. That's nice. It's free. They're free. That's why they call them free.
That's what I thought.
They range freely in the environment, not in someone's backyard, not on a farm, and you can go ahead and do that. YouTube algorithm, we're not actually saying that. So that's on the algorithm now that I said that. So you don't get banned.
Bill Reed, thank you for coming, and hey, tell your dad happy birthday, man. Bill was going to be with us tonight too, but tonight was his dad's birthday celebration. So,
Bill Reed from the guys. That Bill Reed.
Those Canadian people.
Those Canadian people.
Skeptic that I love.
Yes. Bill's had some other things. He's had a pretty taxing week this week too. So you might want to send prayers out to him and his family as well. Yep. He's a great guy.
Yep.
I like that he's the healthy skeptic as well. So
yep.
The Bourgeois boys. So
Bourgeois.
Yeah.
Bourgeois. That's a cool. I really like that name.
Toy dangling right in front of your mouth.
Man, it's like if I put him down, he's just gonna go get everywhere. If I put him outside, he's just gonna keep scratching at the door with his little paw underneath there, like, let me in.
Yeah. He's like Mango. How about you, Steve? What's the biggest thing you kind of picked up over the last year?
Actually, almost exactly a year ago is the first time I met Brent down around Ashford, listening to that crazy coyote.
Yeah.
Very grateful for the new friendships and all the things that evolved this year.
We've come a long way.
It's been a hell of a trip. Nothing worth anything isn't a hell of a trip. Keep that in the back of your brain there.
Is that all you're grateful for, Steve?
Hell of a trip. We made it through here.
Well, I don't want to brag, but it's kind of cool.
Brent's had a pretty good year.
Is there a podcast you haven't been on, Brent?
Joe Rogan.
Good one.
Well, there have been quite a few things that went on this year. Brent was just kind of the kickoff, and he happens to be here.
That's cool. Well, I was grateful also, to for me having you guys at my camp. Finally, getting somebody at my camp to at least do as quick an investigation as we possibly could. It was more about friendship, though. I really enjoyed
we could do the Bigfooting stuff, in the future. It's good to kind of get people together, understand the area, get the rapport and all that stuff. And everybody worked really well together. It's a good group of people, no real issues or anything like that. It's great.
What are you talking about? There's lots of issues. There's always going to be issues.
Oh, no. I was talking about like,
that's the good part about it.
Yeah, no, I was talking about like down there at Jay's area with all the people.
Oh, right. Okay. No, you're right. Yeah. Well, we're a special clique on the west side. We're not like those crazy. They're like
east side.
Look at Steve Culls. I mean, if that's not crazy, come on. Like really?
I really enjoyed Steve's wife. I love listening to her talk, and she's got just wonderful things that she talks about her fears and what she's had to overcome and things. And just you could write a book if you were quiet in the camp and listen to all of us talk. Probably could make a good book. Honestly.
Yeah, it's like whenever we had any sort of experience down there or something, we'd always turn to her and be like, "Hey, what do you think?"
It's a good counter check-in.
Yeah. No, I mean she's great to have out. It's and she gets out there too. She's like out in the woods, wandering around, and no real fear, and just as curious.
She's moving branches. She's literally. You mean over here? I mean seriously, like a little mountain goat. And I love her curiosity.
You could just tell that something that she's really interested in, obviously for obvious reasons and stuff.
Well, curious cryptid. What do you want?
Yeah. Well, what the experiences that they had, with the car, and that's a good bonding experience.
So that's the first time I heard that story right there up at my camp, and I'm just like, oh crap! What happened to them? I couldn't believe it, man. I was like, it's hard enough, when we get up there, as much fun as we have and all that stuff. It's still, I don't sleep the whole night and all that stuff. But so then Steve and his wife tell us what happened to them when they wanted to stargaze or whatever it was. I was just like, oh my God. Like, but was it a bison? I don't think it was a bison, man. Move their car like that.
Yeah, the black bears they don't get that big here.
No.
You have to be, that'd be like a grizzly bear. Yeah.
They don't leave handprints.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that's a big one right there.
I'm stuck with that handprint. With anything else, I'm still stuck with the handprint on the fender.
Yeah, well, I mean, there's reports up in that area, so a lot of them actually, because that's just a little finger coming off the main Cascade Range and stuff. It's like, it's just an amazing spot, especially back when you were there, because that was a lot more undeveloped back there, less people, better views, I'm sure, of the night sky.
Well, I think if you go back into the folklore, you'll find that a lot of black bear have mimicked human handprints on vehicles over the last few decades, and I'm pretty sure that's solid evidence. You could probably quote me on that one.
Yeah, it sounds like you go to
a lot of knitting works done by black bear that mimic Sasquatch hand printing. You can tell that a lot of the knitting's bigger, of course, because it's representing a Bigfoot, but it's fake. But that I'm just saying.
It sounds like you got a degree in Noel University.
I Christmas Noel. My name is Leon backwards. Leon Noel. There's nothing there.
Hey.
There's the counterbalance, the polarity things going on.
Yeah.
Ding dong, ding dong, ding dong.
Yin yang.
I'm trying to keep it Christmassy, so that's all I'm doing.
I was trying to figure out a place to work a porcupine into the branches of that story, but I just decided not to.
It's a 1 year wonder, one hit wonder type of thing. Next year we'll move on to some other forest creature. Hopefully it's a platypus or something, because that'd just be great. Give them some more attention and some street cred. Look at that Bigfoot.
That was one of my favorites from last year when Leon put that sign together spilling Leon, saying he ordered Noel, but they sent him the wrong word.
Yeah, I remember that. I think that came up in my feed last week or so. So, Brent, what have you noticed over the last year? What's your big things you're taking out of the last year?
For me personally, it's the new friends, the new adventures. Really kind of discovering more about my interest in the subject and where I'm kind of going, and working with coming across good people, and that I think have the same passion and all that. Pretty much the same as yours guys. Seems like we're all kind of have that. It seems that this is the year for change in good ways, and with more people. And I'm very excited for 2022, and I'm really personally going to really focus more on next year with just doing a lot of different projects, and really try to help get people together to help maybe figure this out and get some good expeditions going, so we can make the most of our time that we put into it. Pretty much.
I remember 20 years ago thinking, yeah, someone will have this figured out pretty quick.
I thought that in the 90s. I actually did. I thought
that was me. That was me 5 years ago. It's like, all right, well,
Yep, any day now.
I'm gonna go do it
that
now.
one that was talking and throwing marbles. I was like, oh, we're almost there, man. There's
Yeah, no kidding, huh?
I did not think that.
Yeah.
I never
Yeah,
seen
you live and
someone.
learn.
I actually fell for that one. We hadn't been in the forest forever, so it was around 2012. I was just surfing through the internet and everything. I was like, talking Bigfoot. I was like, what? And so I thought it was a joke or something. I was like, oh no, this guy's got a full blown. Got his buddy out there, and they got snow, and there's everywhere you looked was a Bigfoot track. And so here it's been forever. So I'm just thinking, holy smokes, and then there's a Mike, and I tell her, there's a Bigfoot talking to this guy. She's like, okay.
Flower.
Yeah.
Hey, don't feel bad, man. I fell for it too when I got into this subject. I'm like, oh guys, check this out. It's a Bigfoot talking and all that. And so yeah, I was that was another rabbit hole I went. But that's normal. Your first year or so, you fall down those rabbit holes and find out which ones not to go down. The good,
Year.
yeah, a good, yeah.
4 years, man. Come on, be honest about it.
Good,
Like,
yeah,
that's
good
what
2 years,
amazes me is
3 years.
Yeah, the funny thing was, I saw that eye picture, and I couldn't help but think, that's not a Bigfoot eye, that's a fish eye.
Yeah.
Gosh, it actually is a fish eye.
Yeah.
Somebody literally proved that. Yeah.
Oh yeah, it was the fish in Dwayne's cabin itself.
Oh, I thought it was one of those ones when you walk in, it's like the singing bass. It turns its head to you. I'm not a real dog. It's a fake eye.
That's what's saying, Mark.
Flower, 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 flower.
Mark Flower.
Marble.
Man, I wish I could program one of those talking fish to do that. That would be so cool.
That would be pretty easy, I would think, to do.
And use those recording on it.
Oh yeah.
Oh man,
But
that's got
anyway.
potential.
What are you grateful for, Leon?
Well, I'm grateful that we've had Clash. I'm grateful that the skeptic community and the skeptic and the, what's the word I'm looking for? It's the other terrible, evil word. Critical thinkers have clashed with each other. That's important for that process to happen.
Get a lot of growth out of it.
Yeah, well, it gets you to understand why you're doing your show. It's a tough lesson to learn. It'll always be misrepresented usually, but as time moves forward, you'll come back to understand why we're supposed to be doing that. So, and I think it's nice that there's, like I said, 12 to 14 channels. I think I'm looking forward to them doing their own thing so we can learn from the guests they have on their channels.
Yeah.
So we don't just become anemic amongst our own channels. I'm looking forward to, well, last year, I think that's the biggest thing. It was a sucky year, painful year for a lot of people in regards to some of the personalities and the conflicts we had, some of the letdown we had from people we thought we had that had our backs and show up that way, unfortunately. I think it's all positive though. It's look at either we want to know what we're looking at or don't we want to know what we're looking at. The wave's still coming. The wave's going to start increasing. It's going to start doubling itself after a while, just like technology does right now with computers. It's 18 months and everything's just doubled itself automatically. So, and if there's not a Sasquatch out here, I'm delusional and the rest of us are delusional. We'll find that out. I know that coming up this year, I'm, as mentioned on Matt's show in Central Florida, Bigfoot, when he had that great show where he had a lot of just 10 people or on for 10 minutes, tell us what you're doing, tell us your name, tell us what's up. And I was serious about, a lot of people are going to think in the next little while I'm gone dark, but I'm not gone dark, but I'm shifting absolutely everything, including the Bigfoot Okanagan page, which I'll be putting a video up pretty quick on what's happening there. And then I got contacted thanks to Alberta Sasquatch with two professors, one from Major Welch University, which I can't pronounce the name because it's Welsh in England or in UK. And the other one is from York University in England. One's a PhD in geneticists, the other one's a PhD in sociology, and they're doing research on the Bigfoot. So actually, in the new year, I'll be talking to them about a new project they're working on. I think they were talking about 10 white papers, a couple of books, and a few other things. So that's going to be interesting to work on that project. Steve, I might ask you to join us on that, if that's all right.
Absolutely.
So there's that all going down. Also with what I think it's going to be interesting this year is blitzing out our whole valley here which is a good few 100-kilometer stretch of all the communities from down to where the border is to you guys up to northern parts of where I'm at. If you have come across things in the track and the snow that look like Sasquatch, contact us, and I look forward to working with the people who phone us. We will show them how to vet the information on site as one films us, as we talk to them and narrate what to do. Plus, it'll save us some time if there's something genuinely there, so we don't have to travel 3 hours in a blizzard to go look at the best Sasquatches of 2020, the best Sasquatch tracks. This way, we can teach them, and if they do find something, we can see what they found. We'll do a few tracks with them, so we verify it, and then we'll send our resources up there instead of just running like ambulances to every claim of what's going on. So I think that's a unique way of doing it, and hopefully that'll score us something. I know for me, I just can't pretend anymore. People will hate me. Doesn't bother me that they hate me. I'm looking for education. I'm looking for education and truth about the topic, information about finding a Sasquatch. Sorry if people misinterpret what I'm doing. I'm sorry if it bothers them or hurts them. I'm not out to hurt anybody, but I'm interested in facts. And I know one day you'll be so frustrated by what you experience online, more than likely that you'll probably say, this is crazy and I can't do this anymore, which we all have done. And we've stepped back because we had to recalibrate what was going on, take a break for emotional, psychological wellness, and move forward. I hope we don't lose any of the so-called network. But that, it's all a process, and we've never done this before. And you guys done this before? We've done our best before. And it's all about growth and learning instead of beating yourself up or beating each other up. A lot of patience, much grace, much patience, much gentleness. Day one video, 6 years later. Much grace, much patience, much gentleness. Understand that everyone's trying to work their stuff through, and you got your own personal stuff on top of that. So it takes a long time to move a system. You can't just move it. It's like, well, unless you got an iceberg like Titanic, you can move it down to the bottom of the ocean. But besides that, it takes a big curve turn before you can actually shift it around. So I don't know. Hopefully people and I think that's what's going to come is people are going to change the reward system they're getting that's online, whereas the imaginational construct of scientifical information is going to be too shallow for people online now, where they want the scientific reward of understanding that this is cool. I know why I know this is. And then they're going to get bucked too. You know, remember the first people coming over the crest always are the ones who are shot first because the enemy's already lined up on the shoreline. But as more people coming over, eventually it just floods onto the beaches and wipes out everything. So, and then we get to start over again. So that's the bonus about any system. Has to have the clash before you can move forward. So
That's why I always say I'm behind you every step of the way.
well, I would hope they're going to be beside me because that way we can both kind of get shot at the same time and go, that hurts. Yeah, no, that sucks. Yeah, that sucks. I just have to shut off my camera for a couple of minutes. I'll be back online though, but I'm still listening if that helps. Just got to take care of some outside horse thing right now. Go ahead.
Really grateful for the chat tonight. Hey, Jay, how you doing? Jay Fritz. And love having Gary every week. Gary's a good guy. And you know what, I'm probably not going to do it after show tonight because I'm not doing too well. So, when we close this up, it's going to be it for the night. It's getting harder and harder to actually talk. So
yeah, no, it's all good, man. You don't have to do an after show or anything. You know, because we're going into the holiday season and a lot going on.
I'm really grateful for my cousin Becky that cleaned that up for me, and
oh yeah,
and I hope she's able to do something really good with that.
Well, maybe have her get in contact with Leon, and Leon's, you know, people that he knows that do illustrations, and that would be a really good story, a really good, you know, like a kid's book or something like that. That because it's a really good story intertwined in there, and so yeah, something I definitely encourage because that should be shared more. And you know, maybe you could have you know, Steve there with his sexy voice read it for you.
Yeah, I thought about it. I actually thought about asking. I was going to ask Kimber if she would read that because it was really difficult for me. And then I get that fatigue, reading fatigue, really quick. And so, but I wanted to get it out there. I wanted to at least read that for something special for Christmas. So. That was important to me. You know what? I think we're going to end up just going ahead and say goodnight. I really need to do some coughing.
Oh, yeah. Should we wait till Leon gets back or? Leon, where are you, man?
I'm back.
Says you can hear us. There he is. Ta-da.
I'm not going to do an after show tonight. I'm really not feeling good. So, I want to try to get some
honey or something.
Yeah. You have a whole weekend of Christmas festivities, so you should burn yourself out on us guys.
I'm grateful you guys came on and all that and gave us the support for that story tonight. So I'm gonna take next week off, and I got some coughing coming, and so. I'm grateful for you guys, so all of you. That's
oh, we're definitely grateful for you. I mean, you're one of the people that helps us keep that interest in the subject, you know. So thank you for, you know, not giving up on all of us in the, you know, that are in the Bigfoot community that, you know, are serious like you are. And so, yeah, thank you.
And with that, my friends, we're going to say goodnight because I'm about to start coughing really good.
It's okay to cry, man. It's okay.
Good night.
Merry Christmas, everybody.
Good night. Merry Christmas. Happy holidays.
Bigfoot, nobody loves you. Hell, nobody even likes you. And it is because you are of a lower class. If this is you in your picture, okay, you do look a little bit tough. But I know an old boy from Yakov makes you look like a powder puff. We can fight tonight out in my house if you think you're man enough. But $100 says you don't show up.